Mrs. Appileen Barnhill, this is your life.
And it's yours.
My life story as a child. I was born November the 16th, 1916, in a little community called North Ballard in the sticks of Kentucky. And it was the sticks, too, I'll tell you. My name is Appileen Elizabeth Rollins Barnhill. What a name. I guess you would call me a hillbilly. We always lived on farms with houses down in the dirt lanes. Most of the time we would walk when we went to church or school and to visit the neighbors. That is about the only places we went. The first thing I remember in my childhood was going to school in a one-room school with 8 grades and 1 teacher. I was so shy and scared, the 8th graders looked like giants to me, although I had 2 aunts to protect me. My parents were very hard-working people, and they tried very hard to make a good home and a good living for us. I had 3 sisters, and I was the oldest one living. I had 1 sister older than I was, but she just lived 9 days. The next thing I remember was my brother. He came into our family, and we were so proud of him. But he took the whooping cough and died. And this was a terrible tragedy to our family. And then his name was R.C. There was just 2 girls in the family after this. Another girl was able to add it to the family. Then we moved to a small community called Cane Creek. There was just a schoolhouse and a church. I think it is about the oldest church in Ballard County now. It's over 100 years old. And then we lived in a house we called the Little Log Cabin. This house had a big fireplace and just 2 rooms, but they were big. Back in that day, they built them with just 2 rooms and great big rooms. I can remember carrying water from a big spring at the foot of the hill to cook with and drink. Mama got water out of a creek that ran by the side of the garden to wash with. We had to help her get this water, which was fun to us. While we lived here, another girl was added to our family, and of course, we thought she was great, and we spoiled her, and she's still spoiled. A very big baby right now. When we lived here, we played in the creek and climbed trees and saplings and fought snakes. Those old hills and gullies were full of snakes, and boy, was I afraid of those old chicken snakes. They were the biggest old things. My mama would let me gather the eggs, and I remember going to the hen house one day to gather the eggs. And I laid one of those big snakes in the nest. And across the nest, and I didn't get any eggs that time either. It was quite a while before Mama could get me to gather the eggs. I was scared of her. I was about 8 years old then. And my papa was a sharecropper farmer, or farmer, I don't know what they called him. But anyway, he was a farmer that rented the land and gave part of the crop to the landowners. We all had to work hard. As soon as we got big enough, we had to go to the fields and work. And it was work too. We all worked together in the fields and in the house. My papa would help us with the housework too. But we had lots of fun. He was a very jolly person. He could always make fun out of anything we were doing, so the work wasn't so hard. Then we moved from the log cabin to a farm near Barnhill, Kentucky. We lived close to my grandparents there. Their names was Sullivan. We would walk across the fields to their house. We thought this was great. I don't remember how long we lived here at this place, about 2 years, I think. Then back to the log cabin. The house was on my Grandpa Rollins' place. And one thing I remember that has stayed with me, our parents did not let us talk back to them. That was absolutely forbidden. They didn't beat us, but we just knew we had to do what we were told to do. We were taught to respect our elders. when we did wrong, we were punished most of the time by sitting in a chair for a long time. Well, it seemed long, about 30 minutes was about what we used to have to do. And then if we got up before that 30 minutes was over, we had to sit there 30 more minutes. We were not allowed to call one another names or use slang language. We had to respect one another as children, too. The next time we moved was to a community called Oscar, Kentucky. This was a long move. We moved in a wagon. That was from Wycliffe to Oscar, Kentucky. Well, that seemed like we was moving out of the United States. It seemed like we never would get to our destination. Then we came to the town called Center, Kentucky. My papa stopped and bought us some bologna, cheese, and crackers. And boy, did we have a treat. We sure enjoyed eating. That was something wonderful to kids back in that day. I was about 12 years old. We started school at Oscar, Kentucky. This was a larger school. It had 8 grades, but they were divided into rooms. So this was quite different. We stayed at this place till we grew up. We had lots of good neighbors and friends in this place. Then Don came into the family while we were living here. I was a teenager then. We walked about 4 miles to church. Sometimes during revival, someone would take us in a wagon. There was about 12 teenagers, all went together, and we had lots of fun walking to church on Sundays. I was saved at this church. The name of it was Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. I was saved in a revival August 1931. I was 15 years old, so I have been saved 47 years. I do thank the good Lord for saving me, and it has been a great thing in my life, the greatest thing in my life. Then I met Burley when I was 16 years old, and we were married in 1934. This has been 43 years ago. He was not saved, but thank God he was saved in 39. Then to our family, God gave us 3 boys and 1 girl, which we are very proud of. Then in 1951, Burley surrendered to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. I was so burdened. I guess I surrendered my life too. I went down to the horse lot, and I guess I just walked around in the lot several times, just praying and talking to the good Lord to help me be a preacher's wife that would honor and glorify Him. All the burden left, and I knew God would help me be what He wanted me to be. We've had 43 wonderful years together, especially working for the Lord. One thing more God has blessed us with is 3 wonderful daughter-in-laws and 11 grandchildren, which we are very proud of. And then I forgot, I left out 3 boys that came into our family. I missed that page again. God gave us to our family 3 boys and 1 girl. And then we're blessed with 3 wonderful daughter-in-laws and 1 son-in-law and 11 grandchildren, which we're very proud of. God has been so good to us. I thank Him for Elmridge Baptist Church and all you good people. God bless you.